Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Am I audible? Okay. Okay. Good evening, all, for joining today's session. I'm Anurag Gupta, the Management Committee member of ICAI Singapore Chapter, and I am the host for today's session. So, on behalf of NEXTLEAP 2025, an initiative organized by the ICAI Singapore Chapter in collaboration with BeyondSeed, under the aegis of the Committee on MSME and Startups of ICAI, I extend a very warm welcome to all our founders, mentors, and participants joining us for today's masterclass on go-to-market strategy. So this is the fifth session in our masterclass series under the Next Leap 2025 program. Basically, it is built on three pillars of ideas, action, and impact. It's a cross-border accelerator designed to empower the next generation of visionary startups from Singapore to India. Organized by the ICAI Singapore Chapter in collaboration with BeyondSeed and supported by CPA Australia, this initiative stands as a testament to the enduring partnership between our two nations, grounded in trust, innovation, and shared growth. So to start the proceedings, may I invite now Milisha, Program Lead from BeyondSeed, to say the few words, welcome you all, and kick starts. Milisha, over to you.
Thank you, Anurag. Thank you for the brief introduction. Hello, everyone. Very warm welcome to our fifth session masterclass on go-to-market strategies. I would like to brief a little bit about Beyond Seed. So the entire initiative with ICICI and Beyond Seed has given shape to the Next Leap program, but there is a whole lot of a big engine that Beyond Seed, or the ecosystem that Beyond Seed brings in. BeyondSeed is a startup growth platform committed to accelerate early stage companies to provide structured ecosystem, strategic guidance, and operational support by combining deep domain expertise, actionable growth frameworks. BeyondSeed helps startups scale faster, sustainable business models, and unblock new market opportunities. As our ecosystem spans around Singapore, Dubai, and India, connecting investors, mentors, and founders across borders is the whole theme ethos of our platform. We focus on that crucial seed to pre-series A stage where most of the startups struggle and bring not just funding for them, but also active mentoring to bridge the gap between the idea to growth. So here, when we built our ecosystem over here, we have come up with these growth engine verticals. These are, operated by their own individual CEOs who bring a lot of wealth of expertise. So with these verticals, such as beyond services, beyond marketing, beyond distribution, beyond people, beyond capital. So when we say beyond services, it provides operational excellence, compliance support, financial audit services. Beyond marketing delivers performance-driven marketing and brand growth strategies. Beyond distribution helps multi-online channel development to drive your market expansion or scale your products and revenues. There is a structured rev-up advisory program on the platform, connecting the startup with seasoned mentors and domain experts who bring both expertise and skin in the game through our equity sharing model. Engagements are milestone based, so it is definitely a win-win situation for the startup and the founder and the mentor and BeyondSeed as an ecosystem, ensuring that mentorship on fundraise, market expansion, marketing, and operational efficiency is directly led to measurable business outcomes. This model aligns incentives, fosters accountability, and creates a collaborative growth journey with both mentors and startups share in the success they build together. While we will be working closely with the Next Leap startups, we would love to connect with any one of you today on the webinar here who is building an interesting startups, or anyone who is looking to invest or to mentor startups. and give your expertise and leverage on the network that we have. So we will be just giving a QR code over here. You can scan and register your interest with us. The team will get in touch with you. Following, I hope you all have a great session on go-to-market strategy. Over to you, Anurag. Thank you so much. Anurag, you can just, okay. Later on, we can just flash the QR code for others to just connect.
Just a minute. Let me just do that.
Yeah, that would be good.
Sorry, just a minute.
No worries. So for all those, whether there are investors, whether there are founders, or whether there are mentors on the webinar, please scan this QR code and get in touch with us.
Can see?
Yes, now it is up there. So I request everyone to just scan the QR code quickly and join our community to get more insights on how you can contribute towards the startup ecosystem, whether it is based in Singapore, Dubai, India, or anywhere in the world. Thank you, Anurag.
Thank you, Millie, for setting the tone for today's session and sharing valuable information about the BeyondSeed verticals and different services offered by the BeyondSeed. So I hope everyone can scan the QR code. So if maybe we will share also at the end of the session if required. As of now, I can stop the sharing of this particular screen. So moving back to today's theme, as Millie also mentioned about, sorry, okay, yeah. There's no screen sharing, right? Sorry, just want to understand.
No.
Okay.
We can see you. So
Okay,
there's
understand. Okay. So coming back to today's topic, it's go-to-market strategy. So all I can say is that obviously our esteemed speaker will share more light on that. But what I can just highlight maybe a few of the pointers. That's like a great product or service is just the beginning. Success truly depends on how effectively you take it to the market. So how you get it done and how you make it possible, that's the speaker will share his valuable inputs today. And obviously in today's digital era, where digital marketing, data insights play a pivotal role, the GTM market strategy is no longer about launching a product. It's about creating a sustainable presence in the market. So all in all, we can say that GTM strategy bridges the gap between your innovation and customer adoption. And to help us decode this crucial aspect of business success, we have with us Mr. Aashay Shah, who brings deep expertise and real-world experience in shaping winning go-to-market strategies. Mr. Aashay Shah is the brand marketing and media director at Procter & Gamble, currently leading Pampers and SK2. He has a 12-year track record of turning around businesses in Japan and Asia Pacific. His extensive skills and experiences involve developing trusted products and communication strategies that yield positive outcomes for consumers, the company, and the community. So before I pass the baton to Mr. Ashay, there are some housekeeping rules. So we'll have a question and answer session at the end. Please feel free to post your questions either in the chat box during the session or raise your hand when we open the floor for discussions. We will spotlight you, or you can or read your questions, whatever the approach we will follow, and get the questions answered by the esteemed speaker. So over to you, Mr. Ashay. You can share the screen.
Yes. Anurag, thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, can.
All right. So give me 1 minute as I share my screen. The host isn't allowed to sharing in this webinar. Can you please make that change on my profile?
Co-host, maybe there is just a minute, huh?
Yes.
Make co-host. So maybe you try now.
Yep, sure. Yes, I can. Okay. All right. Okay. Can you all 1 minute?
For a while we could see, but then it went off.
Went off. Okay.
Yes, can see.
Okay, perfect. Can you all still see my screen with the full screen of the PowerPoint, Anurag?
Full screen not, but actually we can see your first page, but not like a presentation mode.
Not in the presentation mode. Okay. How about
Yeah,
now?
now can. Yes.
Oh, all right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Firstly, thank you so much, ICAI, for this opportunity to share with everyone few things that I have learned through my career. And the topic today is about go-to-market. I have worked in marketing for the past 12 years in Asia Pacific, and today the intent is to share some of my learnings on how can products and services can be taken better to the market. How do you win your consumer, and how do you get a sustainable growth and you win your consumer? Of course, today what I'm sharing is on a personal capacity. I work for an S&P 500 company, but my views and recommendations today are purely on my personal basis. So let's get into this. We are going to talk about raising the bar on go-to-market. I want to start by giving some external examples and a bit of thought-provoking ideas on some of the brands who are growing like over 20-30% year on year. Look at these brands: Oatly, Granate Protein Bar, Yolu Night Shampoo, Asahi Beer, Zespri Kiwi Fruit. You may know of some of these brands. They have not been part of any big multi-corporation. They have come out from a homegrown idea or a startup which has made it big in today's market. What do they have all in common? We will be decodifying that. So the success behind their products is delivering unique value to consumer. Something which they are not getting from anywhere else, but they're getting only from certain specific brands and products. What is unique value proposition? On one side, you have what your consumer wants. On the other side is what your competition does and provides to those consumers. And the third angle is where you come in and give that value proposition to the consumer or your customer where they don't get it anywhere else. This is where unique value proposition builds up. Consumers heavily reward this unique value proposition. The moment you're not unique, the moment you are a commodity, the moment you are available in anyone else's product or service, consumer does not see the value in this. So a very important aspect here for everyone to understand in their business or service is consumer rewards unique values which are delivered to them. Let me give you an example of multiple industries today. And I'm gonna keep it very example and real world stories so that it gives you an idea of how someone thought it's a very cluttered category is somewhere you have 100 brands competing, but still they made a mark and they won the market share. So let's first look at haircare brand in Japan, which is now also in Korea. There are more than 50 brands of shampoo and conditioner which are always fighting for your eyeballs and market share. In comes a brand called Yolu. The Yolu is the only brand which provides hair care for your overnight support. In Japan, consumers wash their hair at night because they need time to wash, clean it, and spend time in their bathroom. This brand identified that this is an opportunity for us to play. They said when consumers are washing their hair at night, it takes time for them to slowly wind down and use conditioner, use a two-step process. They realize that consumer does not have time to do all of this in the morning. This is where they launched, we are the only hair product to offer overnight care for your hair. This literally means you are moisturizing your hair for the next 8 hours after having a bath. No other shampoo brand was communicating this. No other shampoo brand was talking about this. Let me go to the next example. As cluttered as a fruit. Every brand has one great story to say. And this is where one killer move, if you have on your unique value proposition, you will win consumers' mind, you will win consumer share of wallet. And this is a story of Zespri, which is selling a kiwi fruit. Now, if you think about it, they have a problem of a very weak product. No one wants to share or sell a hairy product, which is very difficult to cut, which is sour and not sweet, and not easily available. So if you're the business owner of Kiwi or Zespri, how do you drive differentiation for your product in the market? So what did they do? They altered their positioning in the category. They said, instead of we being the fruit competing with apple or guava or strawberry, they promoted kiwi as we are the fruit to serve as a health supplement. One portion of kiwi is equal to 100% of your vitamin C supplement for the full day. And this led to kiwi being adopted into the market at a very high growth rate. Let me come to our next category, which is beer. Again, we are not short of choices for beer in any of the market. And I'm sure you would agree that beer consumption has only increased in the recent years. So you can buy a can of beer and enjoy it at your home, but you will never enjoy the beer when it is fresh from the tap, when it has the foam, it has the froth coming on it. So basically, no foam, no fun, and you can never match what you get it in a bar or in a restaurant when it is freshly poured. So here comes Asahi, which promises that the moment you unlock the can, the foam and the froth rolls out, which gives you that feeling of fresh beer at the first sip that you try. It gives you a feeling that you're sitting at a bar or a restaurant ordering fresh beer from the tap, which no other brand or competition was giving you. We are the canned beer to offer draft experience at home. No other beer brand was even playing in this positioning. Next up, EV has been around for quite a number of years. But the problem with EV was they were very ugly. They were made in a design which was not very appealing to the eyes. So here comes Tesla. Tesla said, we are the only EV to offer luxury. And they won the market share, even if they were the late entrant into the EV space. Next up is something that exists in every part of the world. That is bottled water. We have seen examples of innovation in bottled water with alkaline, with pH, with supplements, with flavors, and they have tried n number of innovations. Consumers have no idea of what a premium water is and what a tap water is. If you do a blind test, consumers will not be able to tell what the difference is. So here comes Liquid Death. Liquid Death said, "We are the water brand that makes you look cool at a concert or any of the event that you are attending." They took it to another level by connecting with the consumers who were having issues of drinking beer in a concert, who did not want to drink alcohol, but still wanted to sound cool and wanted to be part of the whole experience. I will double click a bit on this example in my coming slides. Here is how they marketed Liquid Death. And I'm going to play a video. And if you don't hear a sound, please let me know.
Breaking the law, 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 breaking the law.
You can see how they made selling water cool, identified a challenge that consumer was facing in a concert or at an event. And how can you be part of that vibe, that tribe, and not be left out of a concert? Let me go on to the next category. This time it's shoes. Now, who really needs another pair of shoes? You have the Jordans, you have the swoosh, you have the Air Force, you have the Panda Drunks, you have all sort of sneaker culture. So is there a spot in sneakers that can be further filled? Now, what consumers struggled is getting into that shoe. Here is an example of what Kisk as a brand did, which is hands-free shoe. Every one of us has had this problem. Getting into the shoe was always a challenge. Most of the times we are running in the elevator with our shoelaces and we're tying it out there. So here comes Kizik, which revolutionized shoe category by making it hands-free. Let's have a look at this video.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I'm walking the streets, I know you're feeling the heat. Believe me, I'm stopping me now. They talking crazy, control the lead. Give them something to see. Believe me, I'm stopping me now. Ladies and gentlemen, stopping me. They don't stop me now. Don't touch the rhythm when I'm walking the streets. I know you're feeling the heat. Believe me, I'm stopping me now. They talking crazy, control the lead. Give them something to see. Believe me, I'm stopping me now.
A universal problem that we face in every part of the world. And they came up with a unique solution on how can you wear your shoe, which is still fashionable, but in a second you're out of the house. Let's look at another commercialization from their side.
Life is short, the world is wide.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough.
So take any category, for you to be successful, you need to find your unique value proposition, something that your consumer wants, that no one else is giving it to you, but it's only your brand who is giving it. And only then you make a multi-billion-dollar business out of it. So my call to action to everybody on the call is find your unique value proposition. And if you do not have it, you need to go closer to your consumer. You need to understand their pain points. You need to understand their gaps and try and fill it with your solution, with your product. Without unique value proposition, no amount of go-to-market strategy, no amount of your sales team trying to push your product is going to work. And that is why I wanted to spend the first 15 minutes ensuring everyone understands what unique value proposition is. And as much as this slide looks easy, but this is a very, very, very hard job. Finding that unique value proposition is very hard, something that no one else is giving, but consumer wants it. So you as a business and a strategy person needs to find and spend time to understand what is your unique value proposition for your business. Ultimately, the strategy that matters is what that your consumer experiences. And this is what go-to-market is. We'll be learning today what driving best of the go-to-market is. So what is go-to-market? Go-to-market is a comprehensive plan to help you win your consumer. It means at every decision point that the consumer is making before making a purchase, you have to intervene. You have to solve the problem and help them make a decision to choose only your product. From an FMCG perspective, there are like 5 vectors of go-to-market that we influence. Number 1 is product. It has to be your unique value proposition, which no one else is giving to the consumer. Your packaging. Packaging needs to stand out. Packaging needs to catch your consumer's eye. Packaging needs to help solve consumer tension. Your brand communication. If you have a great product, great packaging, but it is not reaching your consumer, consumer is not going to pick up your brand. This is where your brand communication, your social media, your TV, your newspaper, your out of home, in-store display, point of sale display, all of these comes into picture. So when the consumer is going to the store, they need to see your retail execution. They need to see that, this brand also exists. I had no idea about it. And most of the times consumer thinks going to the store thinking buying, I'm going to buy Pepsi, but they come out buying Coke. And this is the magic of retail execution. And ultimately, you need to ensure that you need to give value to your consumer and also your customer. Your retailer and wholesaler will only push your product if you give them a competitive margin. If you come to the market and say that, hi, I'm going to sell this product at $2 less or $3 less, that means your retailer and wholesaler also makes that amount of dollars less. So when you do go to market, you are dependent on your resellers, your wholesalers, your retailers, and super stockists, for example. You need to ensure that they are also making money, because if they don't make money, they will not push your product. And this is universal. It can also be applicable to your B2B sales. If your reseller is not making money out of your product, he or she will go after another product or competition and push that more. So your wholesaler value, your customer value is very important. And ultimately, your consumer needs to see the value as well. If I'm having a backache Or if I am holding an infant in my hand, I cannot bend down and tie my shoelaces. So this is where I want a shoe where I can get into it without tying my laces in a second. That is consumer value. If consumer sees the value, they will pay the price that you're demanding. But if consumer does not see the value, no amount of promotions and discount will ever work for you. Now, this framework is widely used in FMCG market, but it is applicable to any and every industry that you are part of. Yes, there might be certain additions and subtractions in this go-to-market, but prima facie, as a principle, your product has to be superior. Your packaging, if it's a product, has to be superior. If it is a service, then when you deliver the service, it has to be superior. There has to be a wow feeling. You don't want a waiter serving you with a bad mood. You want a waiter to serve you with a smile, with a zing in his or her eye. And that is packaging. Brand communication, your consumers need to know about you. You need to be out there in the market so that they know that product X or service Y also exists. If you're going to conferences, if you're having a booth out there, your booth execution matters. And ultimately, the consumer needs to see value, and your reseller needs to have an incentive to push your product. So when all 5 of them are working for you, this is when your business makes money for you, for your shareholders, for your investors. Let me go a little deeper on how some brands have done this very well. Let's take an example of Cadbury. Now, Cadbury celebrations stands for generosity. They say, kuch meeta ho jaye, kuch acha ho jaye. Let's celebrate with good things and good sweets. It wants to expand into space in which it plays, from being better than a Mars chocolate or eclair to addressing the opportunity of competing with Indian local sweets. That instead of taking a Kaju Katli or any local Indian sweet, you take this celebrations pack from Cadbury. Cadbury was playing in every Indian festival. It could be Diwali, it could be Rakhi, Durga Puja, any celebration, and Cadbury celebration was there. And Cadbury wanted to reinvent itself, that why should we wait once a year for Rakhi to come? Why should we wait once a year for Diwali to come? Why should we wait once a year for Durga Puja to come? Can we go beyond festive? The biggest festival in the world, which comes throughout the year, is birthdays, which is universal. Think of some large countries like India. There are 1.6 billion birthdays to be celebrated. So automatically your target market from just 1 or 2 or 3 celebrations in the year becomes celebration every day. So you have 10x your market just by changing your strategy. So how did Cadbury use go-to-market to their benefit in order to gain market share, in order to gain adoption for their Cadbury celebrations through being part of birthday celebrations of 1.6 billion consumers in India? Let's have a look through one of the videos that they launched.
There are 8 billion people in the world, but only one happy birthday song with the same lyrics and the same tune for everyone. Presenting Cadbury Celebrations My Birthday Song, a personalized birthday song for everyone. We created this platform using 4 generative AI tools: AI-generated lyrics, AI-generated vocals, AI composed music. Real-time generation of personalized songs. Just scan a Cadbury Celebrations pack. Tell us a bit about the person you want to wish. Choose the AI-generated lyrics, singer and genre, and we'll create a birthday song that's all about them.
आज है दादी का बर्थडे करेंगे हम सब मजे
Birthdays are now all about feeling like a star. Speaking of which, Bollywood icon Karan Johar also made a song for superstar Kajol.
Happy birthday, हमारी Bollywood queen.
Sweetest thing ever.
Bollywood's biggest star Amitabh Bachchan praised the campaign on national TV.
पर्सनलाइज्ड बर्थडे सॉन्ग कैडबरी सेलिब्रेशंस के जरिए बनाया जा सकता है.
We made sure everyone remembers to make their loved one's birthdays special. The internet got talking and talking.
What's really unique and
So Cadbury celebration has come with something really interesting for birthday.
तेरे मीम के collections का लगेगा auction. चलो start करें birthday celebration. Happy birthday my best friend. मेरी जान.
We created quite a buzz. And people created over 1.5 million songs. The brand metrics skyrocketed, sparking an immediate inflection in business. The TVC had a breakthrough result. We created countless special moments, making birthdays in India truly personal and memorable. Cadbury Celebrations My Birthday Song, a personalized birthday song for everyone. There are 8
What I took away from that video is they reached out to every consumer in India from every culture, every state, every language. It was a unique proposition that no other sweets or chocolate brand even thought about. They used multi-channels to reach out to their consumers to make gifting a very special experience. And no one thought about gifting a celebrations pack on a birthday. And Cadbury took that space which no one was owning. Cadbury had a strong go-to-market right from product, packaging, retail execution, superior communication on TV, on media, and we will see some more examples on what they did to bring it to life. So this is their Amazon page on how they branded the whole thing into celebrations. This is a gift box that they designed, which is worthy of a gift. Let me see if I can play this. Yes. You can see all different types of packaging, colors, customization, flavors, which consumer needed, which consumer wanted. When you go to a store, this is how they took over certain stores in India. This placement is unmissable. You walk into this and you cannot see this, it's impossible. So this is how they made human interaction with their brand in store. So the moment you see this, there is very high likelihood of you picking one of the celebrations pack. Cadbury celebrations, from Diwali, from Rakhi to birthday, they found a unique value that they will deliver to the consumer, and they excelled in all go-to-market opportunities: product, packaging, consumer value, customer value, superior communication, superior packaging. And they made a memorable campaign out of it. Kuch acha ho jaye, kuch meetha ho jaye. Every Indian knows about this campaign in their lifetime. So this is what go-to-market is all about. You need to influence your product to have a unique value proposition. Your packaging needs to stand out so that consumer, when they are making a decision, they see the worth in your packaging. They see something that they relate to. They see something that matches their lifestyle. Your brand communication needs to go out in order to shout out to the consumer that you exist and the reason for your existence. Your retail execution, if you're a B2B, you have your events, you have your conferences. Retail execution matters out there in order to get as many footfalls as possible. And consumer needs to see value in what you're giving for the dollar or the rupees he or she is going to spend. And your reseller, your wholesaler also needs to make money and be incentivized to push your product. If any of these are not working for you, which is normal, I'm not saying that every brand is able to ace on all of these at any given time. There is always a transition. There is always a glide path on how you make sequential improvement in your product, in your packaging, in your communication, in your execution, in your value. There is always a sequential improvement that you should aim for in your business. This is not something that most brands can achieve overnight or even in a year. So you need to create a plan to help consumers decide at every stop of their purchase decision. And they should always come back and say, no, this is the brand that I want, or this is the packaging that was very convenient, or this product had a USP, unique value that no one else was giving me. That is when your consumer will pick. But if you are missing on any of these decisions and influencing opportunities, there is very high likelihood that the consumer will pick your competition and not you. So to simplify on what you can do out of this session, I've created some 9 steps on what each one of you in this meeting can do after reflecting on what you learned today. Number 1 step on creating a successful go-to-market strategy is create a go-to-market fit for your product. You need to understand the customer or your consumer. You need to research your competitor and market demand. You need to see what your competitor is doing in order for you to be better in your product, in order for you to be better in your retail execution, for you to be better in your pricing, in your packaging. And you need to, basis this, you need to create a unique value proposition. If you do not have a great product, no amount of go-to-market is going to work for you. Once you have a great product, you need to define pricing. You can be a price leader, you can be a price skimmer, or you can be actually a low price entry product as well. Basis that, you create a promotion strategy on how you will take this to a consumer. And promotion does not always mean having TV, having out of home. Not every startup or every brand can actually afford that. But there are KOLs, there are influencers, Instagram, YouTube. They offer very easy access to your consumers. You need to identify your sales and distribution channels where you have a right to win, where your consumer exists, and where your consumer is spending time. And you need to have decent coverage in your stores or on Amazon or Lazada, Shopee, so that when consumer is wanting a product at 2 a.m. in the night, your product is available. You need to select and set metrics and targets for your go-to-market on how much distribution you're looking for, how much value you're looking to give to your customer, how much margin you're looking to give your customer, how many footfalls you're expecting. You need to create a matrix and target and back calculate that are you driving sufficient go-to-market in order for your product to be adopted. And basis that, it's a learning phase. Like I said, most brands cannot get it right in the first, second, or even third attempt. But the moment you make sequential improvement in your go-to-market, you will see that once every engine is oiled, you will see massive dividends from your sales, from your product adoption and trials coming in. So these are 9 steps on how successful brands plan their go-to-market strategy, right from great product, great packaging, great pricing, great distribution, great margins to your resellers, wholesalers, and then ultimately value to your consumer. When all of these things works together is how you build your successful go-to-market strategy. That is it from my side. Thank you so very much for spending 45 minutes with me on go-to-market. I'm open to taking any questions if there are on the call.
We have a question from Harish. Let me just. Hi Harish, are you there?
Hey, so there's a lot of things which you have said. Now, basically, a bootstrapped or a seed stage startup, which is raising seed stage, mostly will not be having so much resource to do all these things. It sounds very cool, but with the 6, 7 people team in which you have a couple of developers, one person in marketing intern, and a couple of founder, so many things doing is a big lot of challenge. So how you advise that?
Let me tell you, this is a challenge that even large companies face. It is always a challenge between resources, investments, time, and prioritization. Let me try to answer the question in 2 parts. Number 1 is your prioritization, Harish. Yes, you may not have opportunity to influence all of those things, but if you get your product right, you have done 80% of the hard work. And this product needs to be tested with your consumer, with researchers to validate your hypothesis. Once your product is right, you can then decide who is your core consumer, where you need to win. You need to find your winners who will adopt your product the fastest, which will give you the proof of concept, which will give you testing the waters as soon as possible. The moment you go very wide, nationwide, there will of course be a lot of wastage, a lot of spillover. So my recommendation to you, Harish, is, and I don't know your industry and your product, so my recommendation to you is always get your product to be superior versus your competition, number 1. The moment you do that, you need to find excellent sales and distribution strategy, because if you're not available the moment consumer wants you, no amount of great product you are, they will go and buy your competition. So your sales and distribution is the second lever to look at. This will give you cash flow into your business that you will need to sustain and inject in other avenues, like your promotion, like your advertising. So priority should be your product, should be your sales, market, and distribution. And you can make slowly interventions in your communication, in your promotion, in your packaging, and your physical presence. That is how I would prioritize if I were you. Again, I don't know your industry and I don't know what phase of the startup you are in, but this is what I would do if you are an early startup.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, next we have, just a minute. We have Sanjay Jangid who wants to raise a question. Just a minute.
Yeah, Aashay, I'm audible?
Yes.
Thanks. I think how passionate about your marketing, it really excites us. So just for your reference, 2 point, we are a SaaS AI company. The stage is pretty simple on a MVP, we are doing that. And now we are on a GTM ready or say product market fit is the looking forward. So for the GTM, for my understanding, I want to know your opinion as well. When I say GTM, we have a 2 or 3 different streams, which looks makes sense for us. Like for us as a SaaS, we can go for the individual as a direct to consumer, mid organizations, or some scale organization as well. Because sometimes big organization also has some interest by means of some reference all that. So I was drafting out my GTM. I want to understand the GTM means to taste all the water because these are the different target audience. So when I say my GTM, it should cover all 3 points, might be prioritization of one, or have one thing, a revenue stream, and then go for some your sales and marketing, which you called. So what should be the timeline considering for the GTM? Or what do you think? What should be the outcome parameter which suggest, okay, now we are product market fit, now we can look out for the sales marketing actually does.
Good question. Let me think. So you're saying that you have a product market fit. Now you want to go after your customers, and some of them are small, medium, and big corporates.
Different category of the target audience.
And you are asking a question on where and what to prioritize. How do you decide basis that?
The first question, the major question, the primary question, which I call as GTM, go to market. So when I say my GTM, it should be categorize all 3 audience because these all have some my sales part. According to priority, it could be some scale one individual, then go for the small companies, current strength and all that. So when I say GTM, it should cover all 3 first. Or what should be my parameters? Say now we have crossed the GTM, now we'll go for some full-fledged sales and marketing.
Yeah, good question. Sanjay, my recommendation to you is you need to find out which is your biggest opportunity in the different customers that you defined. Where is the biggest opportunity? Where is the market growing? Because you need a tailwind in that category, in that market, for them to be open to talking to you and giving a new entrant a chance. So if the category that you are working is growing, is big enough, and you have a right to win, your product has to be a fit and you have a right to win versus your competition. If you have these 3 things true in your customer segment, this is how you can prioritize that I want to go after my large, medium, or single businesses. So I would back it up with the opportunity, the size of the market, where is the money flowing in, and where is your right to win. Most of the times I would advise people to play in a bigger market so that there is an opportunity for multiple brands to come in, multiple SaaS products to come in and find their niche. The moment you go very small, you're really fighting for a very small pie. And you converting those sales, you converting those orders will take a very long time. So start with where the bigger opportunity is, Sanjay, if I answered your question.
Just an immediate question on it, Aashay. So
Please.
absolutely right. There are ways there's big market over there, big opportunity, but catering that big market, big opportunity need to be ready enough. As you said, the competitive readiness, product should be finished in way. Rather than on a some part, it's the opportunities not as large as, but it could be very quicker. Let's suppose we can expect, and your product could be have some safe side on your competitive side because the market is low. So mostly competitive edge is there. So if you ask you the decision making, because your product is on a development side, now you want to look some real. It might be slow for as a founder. I believe at least have some traction. So in that case, decision should be on a small one, which could be quicker, or rather go for the big market where you need to fight for competitive everything. You need to take care, and there are more risk as well. Obviously, the return as well, but risk.
Let me ask this question differently, Sanjay, to you. What are you expecting your prospective customer to do? Are you expecting them to replace your product with something else? Like they are currently using product X and you're telling them instead of X, you use Y? Are you saying this? Or you're saying, hey, this is a new product that you need, which you have not thought about it, and it does not exist in your business. Which side of the business are you on?
It's middle of it. You are using X, but I have a X plus Y. So it's an extra value addition which makes you more efficient, more quicker. So it's X plus Y. People are using X and both category. It could be individual as well, but I think decision time is bit lower than to individual compared to a big organization. So it's a generic call to my team as well, whether you should fight or full-fledgedly for the big organization because we see big chunk is there, or go for the lower opportunity, but it could be quicker.
Yeah. And what stage of business are you in? Are you already
early revenue?
Early revenue.
Mm-hmm. Early revenue, I'll say, because we have made few things, but still I'll say on a GTM phase only. So again, my question is that when I say now I have done my GTM, now I'll go for this sales and cycle.
So Sanjay, if you are in the middle of both the options that I gave you, basically you're replacing your competitor with your product with an add-on value to your customer.
Absolutely.
I would then in that case suggest you that to achieve quick wins and low-hanging fruit, you should try and identify in the pricing that you are playing, whom are you replacing? If you're replacing someone in your similar category, you have an immediate right to win. If you're replacing a lower priced product or a service, and you are saying that I am 25% expensive, but I have this value, your sales cycle is going to be longer. And the moment you are saying that I can do the same, I can deliver the same solution at half the price with my product, you also have a right to win out there. So if you had to prioritize, think of it from the customer or consumer lens. Today, I'm paying 1 lakh rupees for a solution. If you come and tell me that you can deliver the same in 1 lakh 10, 1 lakh 20, or 90,000 in that plus or minus range, I will listen to you. But if you say that I am using 1 lakh, but here is a 5 lakh opportunity, your go-to-market will not work for you.
Certainly not.
So in order for you to find out, you should go for individual, medium, or large scale business. You need to know whom are you replacing today, and where are those consumers, where are those customers. It will be that you are spread across multiple customers, and this is where you want to prioritize. But I would always recommend you that the size of the market or the customer has to be bigger, so that you have more opportunities to scale. And you should always try to work within what customer has the budget. If my budget is between 20% up and down, I will listen to you. But if I am extremely outpriced in the category, a small single individual office or a company will not. So your go-to-market will not work for you. So I would say it's a bit pricing and also a bigger market. A bigger market opens opportunity from where you have no idea.
Helpful, Aashay. Thank you for
Thanks, Sai.
patiently answer on it. I'm aware about it. It's tricky because I saw your face. I agree on it because it's not a one answer every time because there's a lot of involved in it. But patiently answer. I got my click. I'll work out on it. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next question is from Rajesh Kumar. He has raised hand. Let me move to him. Hi, Rajesh Kumar, over to you.
Yeah, hi. So this is Rajesh from TRPW Strategic Partners, and we are mainly into the audit tech. So regarding the GTM, I wanted to understand slightly on the connecting back to the numbers. So let's say whenever we plan GTM, we are in the same phase actually. We are a revenue generated startup, and now we are more on to the execution of GTM. But the question is coming: how to tie back the numbers corresponding to your revenue and what kind of cost? Because it all what end of the day matters is the numbers. In terms of even the marketing plan, it's a chicken egg situation. The more you earn, the more you spend, right? So Ashay, my question to you is like, I mean, is there any ideal percentage which should be covered as a budget, or it's like it's like something which where we have to consider is like investment, mandatory investment, which is a good percentage in the initial stages.
Good question, Rajesh. I can explain this in the phase of different companies are in. If you are in a very early stage of your company, you need maximum users, you need maximum clients for you. This is an investment that you should look at the initial phase of your business if your cash flow allows you. Typically, big startups are actually burning money. If you see startups in India, they don't make money. They are actually delivering loss quarter on quarter. This is because they are spending money on user acquisition. They want consumers to come into the ecosystem, get used to that ecosystem, and make it very hard for them to exit. These are all very big funded, large companies, right? At times, it may not be practical for SMBs or SMEs and smaller startups.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So large companies who are well funded, they go after extreme acquisition like Zepto, Swiggy, Zomato. They will burn money in the initial years, but eventually find a way to make money by getting them to stick into the ecosystem. Now, if you are a SME or a startup or an early stage startup, the principle should always be on your cash flow and profit that you want to deliver. If you are open to delivering losses at the risk of getting more users, that is a choice that business makes. There are some businesses who want to deliver profit from day one and want sustainable growth. That is also a choice that you as an entrepreneur needs to take. Typically, large companies like S&P 500 companies, the percentage of promotion that they have in their budget is typically in the range of 10 to 20%. It depends on the gross margin of the product. It depends upon the commodity of the product. It depends on the size of the market. If you are in a shampoo business, or if you are in a very large scale everyday usage business, you need to be in consumers' mind every day. So their percentage is typically on a higher side. But if you are in a B2B scale, if you are in a smaller target market, you need to ensure that you are only reaching to consumers who are potentially your consumers and not everyone. This is where the proportion of your marketing budget goes on the slightly lower side, but I have seen typically those companies spending 10 to 12%. What you need to ensure, Rajesh, is how many consumers you're reaching out to in your budget. If you're not reaching out to enough consumers who are likely the user of your product, a 10% or 15% is not the right benchmark. You need to reverse the question that, am I reaching to at least 70% of all the consumers that I think are a ideal user of my product? So to deliver 70% reach or promotion to 70%, how much budget do I need? You can work backwards. Typically, you will find that you will come in the average of between 10 to 25%, depending upon how big your product is, how big your market is, and what scale of the journey of your startup you are in.
Sure, got it. Thanks a lot, Aashay.
I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you. That helps because sometimes you are mixed up in terms of going overboard in terms of the budget, or sometimes you are underboard. So that gives a very good view that how usually your spend should look like. But I got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you, Aashay. Let me just look at the next question. We don't have any hand raises, but there are few questions in the chat. There is one question from Savita Kajale. How can I use the strategy for service industry?
Good question. Savita, I would go back to knowing my consumer. And I don't know as to which service industry you are referring to here, which you're part of the business. So I will try and generalize what typically in a service industry happens. Service does not have a product. The product is an invisible form of delight that you deliver to the consumer. I would try and understand, what does a consumer like? What is a consumer looking for? And let's take an example of a restaurant. When you are going to the restaurant, the first thing you want is you want a table immediately in the restaurant. You don't want to wait. You don't want to wait 15-20 minutes outside in hot weather, which depresses the whole experience of going to a restaurant. So how can you enable the first moment of delight, the moment consumer is even entering your premises? You have a valet, you have a dedicated parking slot, you have peace of mind. You need to think of what is the next stage that the consumer goes through. The consumer then goes through getting a seat or a table at a restaurant, which is not chaotic, which does not have a baby crying next to you, which has a great view. So again, knowing your consumer and what is that person looking for, and you try and customize that solution towards it. When it comes to food, your consumer is coming to your restaurant to have a delicious meal or a delicious food. So your food, your preparation, your presentation plays a major delighter to the consumer. And when the food is served, that person is typically served by a waiter or a waitress. You don't want a sad waiter or a waitress to be attending to your customers. You want someone who is lively, bubbly, always paying attention, understands your consumer even before they're asking for a fork or a knife. So the person who is delivering the service also is a critical enabler for you in your go-to-market. And how you train your resources, how you train your salespeople is a critical enabler in your services go-to-market. Once you finish having your meal at a restaurant, there is always an urge for a dessert. Or if you are there to celebrate your birthday or something, you are always expecting the restaurant to do something special for you. And if the restaurant comes out with your favorite cake or a pastry or a gesture, you are overjoyed. You feel that, oh, coming to this restaurant was the best decision, and they made your day. Once you are done with your meal and dessert, you then are waiting to exit the restaurant and you see your car is ready from the valet and you safely and smoothly exit out. Now I'm breaking down this example of what a consumer goes through in a service industry, in a restaurant setup. Right from the moment they enter the restaurant premises, you having a valet, someone opening the door, the restaurant smelling great, the food comes on time, the waiter is greeting you with a lot of enthusiasm, love, pleasure. He's very attentive to you. He's attentive to your family needs. He's attentive to your baby or the baby seat. All of these parts, when you break it down, this is your go-to market. Understanding your consumer, breaking down each and every interaction that your consumer makes while being at your restaurant or being at your product, and how you delight them at each and every stage. You need to have a very detailed observation and research to understand as to what does the consumer want the moment they're sitting at the table. What does the consumer want the moment they're entering your restaurant? What do they want the moment they're leaving the restaurant? And how much time are they expecting the food? What is the music that they're expecting? If you break all of these things down, that is your service go to market.
Thank you, Aashay. Now, there is one more question, which is from an anonymous attendee. Does your product constantly have to adapt to market and consumers to maintain its unique value proposition? Or are there other methods as well?
Very good question. There is a concept called category growth. Let me explain to you what Apple does. Apple smartphone, like everyone knows what an iPhone is. iPhone needs to make more money every year for their shareholder. iPhone is a leader in the smartphone business. So every year they come out with a unique value proposition which they did not have before or which competition does not have. And behind this unique value proposition, they take up pricing. They raise prices for their iPhone by 5%, 10%, 15% every year. The role of a leader in a market is to always raise prices. A role of a second or a third or a fourth in market share is always to increase the user base. But if you are the category leader, your number one job is to grow revenue for the whole category. So if you are a market leader or if you have a great UVP, that UVP will only last for 1 or 2 or 3 years and your competition will catch up. So you always need to increase your pricing every year and increase your value proposition every year. If you do not do it, competition is watching you very closely, and in a span of 3 to 5 to 7 years, depending upon which category you're playing in, the competition will catch up and then they will eat up your business. A prime example of this is Nokia smartphones or Nokia phones. Nokia was a leader, but they did not innovate and came in iPhone with innovation, with higher price, but they won the market share. So if you are a leader, you need to constantly increase value of your product. You cannot be sitting on it. You have the cash flow, you have the money, and you need to do it for all the competitors, not only for you.
Thank you. Then we have one question which is specific to service industry again, where specifically for CA services, how we can approach customers and what are the ways? If you can throw some light on that.
I think CA has a big tailwind in our industry thanks to Modi ji. The taxation laws are getting stricter. With the digitization, the IT, the income tax team knows a lot about you and your holdings. So I'll be very surprised if you're not getting customers walking into your office. But my recommendation to you as a CA, and I've seen that as one of my family friend do this very well. He's also a CA and he's been practicing for over 35 years. He has played on the brand, on the self-trust. Let me break this down. I trust my CA to take care of me and my family's finances and filing. I trust this person. It is not a company that I trust. It is a person that I trust. And he has gone out in different social outings, gatherings, clubs, community services to increase his network. He's part of Rotary Club, and he does humongous donations, charity work, reaching out to specially abled sections of the society, delivering projects for them, and working with HNIs and donators who wants to make a difference in the society. So he became a bridge between people who have money and want to do something, and he joined social organizations and cultural organizations where he can match these donations and money to something in public sector and service industries. He made a platform between HNIs and doing something good for the society. And Rotary Club is a prime example of his achievement. He became a president in Rotary Club at a very young age. He became a district governor. He became one of the highly ranked people in Rotary Club of India. He made network with businesses. He made network with SMEs, startups who want to make a difference in the society but do not have time for it. And he expanded his network. So my recommendation to you as a CA is, you have a big tailwind in your industry. Everyone is looking for ways to save taxation and comply to the laws. But someone will give you your business on trust. Trust is a very important factor in a CA business. And you need to go out, network with these communities, network with HNIs, network with people who are making big businesses, big money, and they are always part of some club, some institution. Like, for example, ICAI is also one of those. So if you make those networks, if you are in touch with those people, business will come to you. So I would say build trust, build your network, build your recognition in growing communities, growing social clubs, and you will find a lot of traction for your business.
Thank you, Aashay. Moving on to the next question is from Sharda Vyas. Basically, what could be our go-to-market strategy? What about CA services? What should be our go-to-market strategy? So, which you have answered with the last question. There is one question from Anirban Roy. Can we get strategy as a template which we can use?
Anirban, this is a very broad question, to be honest. I would advise against using a template which is not catered and tailored for your brand. If you're still looking for a solution, and I again don't know your industry and category to comment on, but a simple chat GPT will give you some direction on what should be your go-to-market strategy for your category, for your business, for your industry. The principles does not change, Anirban. You need to create your unique value proposition for your consumer, which your competition is not giving you. You need to price it right. You need to know who are your end buyers. You need to know where are they. You need to know how do they make a decision. And the moment you know these things, you need to create a plan on how are you going to influence them to buy your product. I can talk to you as a follow-up just to understand which sector and which business you are from, so I can give you some guidance on what strategy and what template you could potentially use, but it's very hard for me to say right now without knowing as to which business you are representing.
Yes. So we are done with all the question and answers. We would now move on to the next in the agenda would be a formal vote of thanks. On behalf of the organizing team, a special thanks to Aashay Shah for sharing an actionable insights on go-to-market strategy. From the unique value proposition to understanding consumer needs, your expertise has truly sharpened our understanding on how to launch and scale with impact. Thank you for making this session so interactive by patiently answering so many questions. To our engaged audience, your questions and energy made the session dynamic and meaningful. And to our support team, thank you for ensuring a smooth experience throughout. Thank you to the 4 pillars of the NEXTLEAP program, our partners BeyondSeed, CPA Australia, the Committee of MSME of ICAI, and the Managing Committee of ICAI Singapore Chapter for the unique value proposition, the NEXTLEAP 2025 for the startups who are part of the cohort. Let's take these learnings forward and turn strategy into success. Until next time, stay curious, straight at strategic. The next upcoming webinar is coming up on, let me see.
On 30th of October.
Yeah, on 30th of October, Kushal, that
is
on
fundraising strategies.
Fundraising strategy, one of the most pivotal part for all startups. So stay tuned. We are coming up to you shortly. Thank you once again, Aashay, for an interesting session.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and great to connect with all of you. This is an incredible group of successful people who are out there to make a difference in the society. So thank you for the opportunity once again, and happy to connect over LinkedIn or email as a follow-up. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Aashay. Just in the interest of public demand, let me just quickly share the QR code. Kushal, will you be sharing it?
Let me share the link with you, Ayush.
Yeah, just share the link.
Yeah, just give me a minute.
I can share it.
Sent you the link.
Okay. Just give me a minute.
It's in the Chapter's Canva account.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll share my screen now. Yes, is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible, Ayush. Thank you.
Okay, great. So please scan this QR code to join the BeyondSeed community, where you will keep on receiving the updates on the latest happening at BeyondSeed.
Let's keep this screen for 5 to 10
Yeah.
seconds, Ayush.
Sure.
And whoever wants to scan the QR code and not able to scan right now, can also take a photo with your phone, and then at your leisure time you can scan and do the next steps on that. Okay, I think we are good, Ayush.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's session. Your presence made it more impactful. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.